So we will start learning the relative pronouns, right? And there are phrases in English that help us to describe the subject, and we call them relative clauses. To create a sentence with relative clauses, first we need to know what is a relative pronoun. A relative pronoun in English is the pronoun we use in order to describe more quality, more characteristics of the subject. We have who for people, which for things and animals, and we have whose to indicate possession. So that's how we will organize the relative pronouns. That's basically the meaning. For people, we have who, and we have other relative pronoun that we call that. That. First, we have this example here. Let's read it together. I will ask Darlis, can you read this example, please?
Sorry. Doesn't man who that stole the money.
That's the man who stole the money. Who stole the money? Or that's the man that stole the money. Let's read the next example. Help me to read Samuel. Here, please.
We need whom that we need to find people. Okay, who we can trust.
Very good. We can use who or that. Whom is very formal and rarely used. Whom means we have this meaning for whom. But is rarely used. You only find it in books. Whose? Cesar, can you read?
Yes, I can. This is the story of a man whose ideas saved lots of lives.
Whose ideas? Whose? Cuyas ideas, right? Then we have the relative pronouns for animals. Animals and things. Let's read the first example. Abner.
That is the dog which or that attacked me the other night.
Very good. Which attacked me or that attacked me. We can use it for things and for animals. Next example. Johnny.
I'll wear the trousers.
I'll wear
I wear
the
I wear
trousers.
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 Trouser?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
I wear the trousers I bought in Paris. I wear the trousers which I bought in Paris. I wear the trousers that I bought in Paris. Okay. And example number 3, Kevin.
Whose of which?
The film
The field whose little is
whose title
little. Title whose title is unknown will be set in the 60s.
will be set
Will be set in the 60s.
in the 60s. Yeah. Whose? Okay, cuyo. But it's not the animal, it's the phrase, the connector. Yeah. Okay. And again, whom is very formal. You only find it in books, old books. Old books. Right? This is the first step. Let's learn relative pronouns. Who for people, which for animals and things, that for people and for animals and things, whose for people and animals and things, but indicates possession. Whose. Whose. Who, which, whose, whom. Repeat in your houses. Who, which, whose, whom. Excellent. Now, we will learn the defining clauses and non-defining clauses. Okay, this is the next part to understand this topic. Jerry?
Teacher, whom is in the your pizarra? Is,
In the board?
the board saying yes, thank you. Is whom is en medio? Or what is the meaning of whom, please?
Whom? Por medio.
Thank you.
Depending the context, we can use whom in different scenarios.
Thank you so much.
Very good. Right? So let's start. We have defining and non-defining. Let's start with the defining clauses. Defining clauses. Let's see, Anthony, can you help me to read, please?
Yes, it's a defining relative clauses give essential information to define the subject we're talking about. For this reason, they are sometimes called essential relative clauses because the information they provide is essential to understanding the meaning of the sentence.
Very good. So first, defining. Repeat in your houses. Defining clauses. Defining clauses. Let's see some examples. He needs someone whom we can trust. Whom he can trust. Please read the second example, Ismael.
I have a friend.
Whose?
I have a friend whose mom is a doctor.
Thank you. Next one, please. Manuel.
Yes, teacher. She's going to a museum, which is full of interesting artifacts.
Thank you. Next one, Ricardo.
Let's go to a theme park where there are lots of roller coasters.
Excellent. Thank you. Alison, continue, please.
I like to sit in the garden when it's sunny.
Very good. Let's see, Jose Chavez. Can you read?
Okay. I have no idea why that happened.
Thank you. And the last one. Please help me to read, Josue.
Cats are animals that have soft fur and sharp claws.
Soft fur and sharp claws. Okay, as you can see, we have other pronouns that we can use in defining classes. Defining classes, we have where, when, why, and that's all. We can use where, when, why to build a defining clause. A defining clause has important information of the subject. Defining clauses have important information to define the subject. Let's see. First example. I have a friend. I have a friend, but I want to describe what kind of friend do I have. So I say, I have a friend whose mom is a doctor. I need to identify that between all my friends, I have one whose mom is a doctor. Yeah. Whose mom is a doctor? She's going to the museum. Okay, she's going to the museum. That expresses an idea, but is incomplete because I want to describe the subject. I want to define the characteristics of the subject. What is the subject? The museum. Right? I mean, the object we are talking about. Right? Because she is the principal subject, right? She is going to the museum. But is the museum which is full of interesting artifacts. It can be she's going to the museum which is full of paintings of Da Vinci. Or she's going to the museum which is very far away. I like to sing it in the garden. I like to sing in the garden. Okay, that's great. You're expressing an idea. But now you want to describe the condition, the situation, the time, the weather, etc. I like to sit in the garden when it's sunny. Specifically, you are describing that when the sun appears, you like to sit in your garden. Right? Cats are animals. Okay, that's great. Cats are animals. Oh, cats are animals that have soft fur and sharp claws. You are describing the cats. You are defining more characteristics of the subject you want to talk about in a conversation, in a sentence, in a paragraph, etc. Questions? Okay, let's go forward, and if you have questions, please let me know. So we have defining clauses and non-defining clauses. Non-defining clauses. Here is some information, extra information about defining clauses, right? For example, defining clauses do not have commas. Defining classes do not have commas. With defining classes, I'm able to use the pronoun that. And we will understand it more when we see the non-defining. But remember, we can use that with defining classes. And the relative pronouns can be omitted if you want. Do you like the song I wrote? Or do you like the song that I wrote? That's the man who I like. Or that's the man I like, a girl can say, right? When girls see their crushes, oh, that's the man I like. When the girls see Chris Evans, oh, that's the actor I like. You know Chris Evans, Captain America. So that's how it works. That's defining. Now, non-defining clauses. Non-defining clauses. Help me to read. Help me to read, Jose Andres.
A type of relative clause, a non-defining relative clause tell us more about the subject of a sentence, but the information doesn't help to define what we're talking about. Information included in the clause is extra. It's not essential for understanding the sentence. For this reason, a non-defining relative clause might also be called a non-essential relative clause.
Very good. Now we learned defining, but please focus in non-defining. Non-defining clauses. Jerry?
Teacher Adam, relative pronouns is the words and the defining is different with complement with the relative pronouns.
Defining and non-defining have relative pronouns, both of them.
Okay, thank you.
But in defining can be omitted. In defining clauses can be omitted. For example, in the case, let's see. we can delete this. And we can say cats are animals with 4, soft 4, and sharp claws. We can substitute the relative pronoun in defining clauses. In the cases where you can delete it, but not in all of them. No en todos los casos, pero en la mayoría podemos quitar este relative pronoun en defining clauses. But the most important thing that I want you to focus on is what express with a non-defining and with a defining clause. Right? ¿Qué es lo que voy a describir con una no defining y una defining? Right? Please take a look to that. But relative pronouns can be omitted in definings. Let's see some examples. With non-defining, why we call them non-defining? Because they have information that is not relevant. That is information that is not relevant. In non-defining, we need to have commas, right? My brother, comma, who lives in Ontario, comma, is older. Here, we cannot use that. These bikes, which cost a fortune, are made in Japan. Why we cannot use that? Because grammatically in English doesn't sound correctly. These bikes that cost a fortune are made in Japan. Doesn't sound correctly. Doesn't sound correctly in English. So in non-defining, we need commas and we need to use which. And relative pronouns cannot be omitted. And you will see why. You will see why on these examples. Help me to read the first example, please, Benjamin.
My mom, who has been baking for years, made us good.
My mom, who has been baking for years, made us cupcakes. Next one, John Steven.
I got to school with my friend, whose house is next door to mine.
Very good. Next one, Joshua.
I went to school with my friends, whose house is next door to mine.
Next one, my friend.
My friend, whom I've known for years, come to my house today.
Thank you. Anthony, the library.
The library, which is full of books, is my favorite place to go.
Thank you. Ricardo? The leisure center.
The leisure center where I go swimming is just across town.
Excellent. So a non-defining clause has information that is not necessary. For example, I can delete this part of the sentence. My mom made us cupcakes. Oh, thank you. Great. But I can say, my mom, who has been baking for years, made us cupcakes. But do I really care about it? ¿Quién le preguntó? Nadie. Right? So remember that. I walk to school with my friend. Oh, great. Whose house is next door to mine. I can delete that and I can say, I walk to school with my friend. And the sentence still makes sense. But what is the function of a defining or non-defining clause? It's describe the subject with more characteristics, give more details about the subject. That's the function in general of relative clauses. José Andrés?
This is, I only have a question. This is used normally in use it normally in the normal conversation or not?
It depends in the way the people express himself or herself, right? I would say that you use them in various scenarios. Especially you use non-relative clauses, these ones, when you are describing something in a story, in a report, if you are giving information, and defining clauses, the first one, with the first category, with casual conversations. There is not a specific rule for that. My friend, whom I've known for years, came to my house today. My friend came to my house today. And the sentence makes sense. But I want to add more details. So I said, my friend, whom I've known for years, came to my house today. Mi amigo, a quien he conocido por años, vino a mi casa hoy. The library is my favorite place to go. Yeah. But the library, which is full of books, is my favorite place to go. But this is extra information. Which is full of books is extra information. I didn't ask that. Nadie le preguntó si la librería estaba llena o vacía, pero lo dijo. Because it's not defining. La información que dice no define. It's just extra information. Make sense? The leisure center is just across town. The sentence makes sense. I'm expressing an idea. But I want to say the leisure center where I go swimming. El centro recreativo, donde yo voy a nadar, está across town, en el pueblo, entre el pueblo. So this is extra information. Nadie me preguntó si ahí era donde yo iba a nadar, pero yo lo quiero decir. But that information doesn't define the leisure center. Esa información no define el leisure center. Okay? So let's see more examples. Let's see more examples.